Hey, morning Rajiv, morning Funny, morning Alok. Hey, Nuri, good morning. Hey, Navid Bhai, good morning. So I guess we'd wait for another 1 minute, maybe. Am I audible? Uh, is it everything is properly visible in the screen at the same time? Are you audible? Can you confirm? Oh, awesome. I guess we are audible then. Okay, then we'll start. So good morning, everyone from Netherlands. I guess for some people it's a good afternoon, and maybe for some people it's night time. So welcome to SAP Cloud Platform Enthusiast Series Episode 1. Before starting our today's morning sessions, so I just want to say thanks to SAP community people from whom we really got the inspired to start something like this, because we are learning a lot of things every day from the community, and so we thought, okay, why not to share our learning journey with community, because community is a place where we learn, share and inspire, right? So as this series would be totally based on the SAP Cloud Platform community, so I thought, okay, let's start up something with really cool, because just I guess 4 weeks back we see the Open SAP course on cloud application programming model has finished, right? So I reach out to one of the best people who recently finished their go live based project, and that project, most of the project was implemented on cloud application programming model. So I asked them if they can share the learning journey, and as well as they can take a part of some live panel discussions, question and answer. So today I have Hari Kishore, Manikandan and Charan. First of all, welcome, and I would ask them to introduce themselves, and then they can start their learning journey. Over to you, Charan.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Sharan. I have a total 8 years of experience in SAP. I started my career with SAP ABAP support. Then I moved to the SAP UI5. So I have joined RNE in 2019. So I started my journey there, and it was really good. And we have successfully implemented the CAP model. So yeah.
Manikandan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Manikandan. So I joined Arini last year. So we started with the CAP project in a full implementation project. So last month we successfully went go live. In total, I have 9 years of experience. In that, I started with Oracle database development. Then I moved to HANA. Now I'm working in different cloud platform services and implementing different services in the project. This is what we are doing here in Arini also. That's it. Yeah, over to you, Hari.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Sudeep, for arranging this session, not just to introduce us, but also to bring and share the knowledge of SAP and the intelligent enterprise to all the community. So myself, I'm Hari Kishore. I'm the founder of Arini Consulting. Over 15 years of experience with different SAP solutions. Started as an ABAP programmer, so I'm still programming. I like to program, and yeah, this journey of CAP was very not only challenging but also inspired us towards the intelligent enterprise journey and help our customers to become an intelligent enterprise, solve their issues, and help them with their digital transformation. So with that, I would go
Uh,
into the session. Or is it
Hari,
okay, Steve?
I guess there is some voice problem with all of you. I don't know, because everyone is saying the voice is very low. Maybe are you using the headphone? Because they are saying like only my voice is good and the other voices are little low. What about Hari and Manikandan voice? Can you guys just confirm? I understand Charan's voice was low a little bit.
No. Okay.
Okay, they are saying speak a little bit loudly, so maybe you can.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Good. Sorry about that. I'll keep up my voice. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, we started using CAP a year ago. So we were looking into multiple options to build extensions on SAP Cloud Platform. Of course, we did a lot of projects on SAP Neo, but there were a lot of restrictions, and it didn't fit into our customers' requirements. So that's where we moved into SAP Cloud Application Programming Model, or mostly on the SAP Cloud Platform Cloud Foundry Edition. So just I hope everyone knows SAP CAP based on the OpenSAP course, but for some who have little knowledge on CAP, just some few words. So CAP is not a programming language. So it's not a programming language like Java or JavaScript. It's a framework of tools, multiple languages, multiple runtimes, and libraries, which helps us to build cloud native business applications. So we can build full stack business applications on SAP Cloud Platform using the CAP model. It is one of the key components in the SAP's intelligent enterprise journey. So there are a lot of developments happening over CAP. It provides better agility and scalable because it follows a microservices concept of Cloud Foundry. So it makes us really agile to develop solutions and enhance them and scale it based on the customer requirements. And of course, it's much easier for the developers to start programming as well as to focus on the business logic, because CAP takes care of a lot of platform services like authentication, authorization, connectivity part. So we don't have to worry about these, let's say, these platform requirements. So we just can focus only on the business logic, the UI design, and the whole program itself.
Hari,
Yeah.
just a minute. I guess screen is clear now, but they are still saying that a voice is very very low. I don't know. Just a minute. Let me try to fix that. They are saying only my voice is clear. Other people's voices are a little low. So just what we do is only audio is low. Yeah, people are saying only audio is low. Maybe can you just check a little bit, Hari? Like maybe you can say hello or something, and let's people confirm that. Okay, if this good or not.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Can you add gain filter if you're using OBS? Yes, I'm using OBS. Just a minute then. 1 minute. Okay. Is it now audible? Hari, can you just say something? Just to
Hello,
make sure.
everyone. I hope it's better now.
Okay, no, we can hear you feebly. Okay, some people are saying that. Okay, right click on audio input. Audio input. Okay. Actually, we are trying to stream through Microsoft Team. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Right click on audio input and filter. Then, okay, let me just check it out. Really sorry for that, but yeah, we're just trying it out. Okay, because we have the input only from Microsoft Team. We don't have input from our audio device. So that could be the reason. I don't know. Not the paste. What is first is audible but low. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah, maybe we can sorry for that, like maybe you have to a little bit increase the volume. uh, yeah, let's continue and maybe we'll fix the issue later. Yeah, and sorry for that. Yeah, Hadi, go ahead.
Good. Yes, so I would like to so about this project. So this is a migration project where a customer who had an ABAP solution for on-premise customers. So it's an SAP ABAP add-on developed by their product development team, and the requirement is to migrate into SAP HANA as a HANA native solution, as well as make it available on the cloud for customers to use. So before engaging us, they have investigated a lot of options. They were planning to build the solution directly on HANA using HANA XSA, but of course with their roadmap of enabling multi-tenant capabilities and SaaS-like approach, they approached us to look for options. So we recommended migrating the solution into SAP Cloud Platform on Cloud Foundry using the CAP model, so we can achieve all the capabilities of the SAP, like workflows, business rules, integration with third-party solutions, using HANA as the native database, enabling all the analytical capabilities. At the same time, introduce multi-tenant nature of the solution to their customers. So that was the requirement. So about the customer, so customer is Sposea. They are a pricing solutions provider based out in here in Netherlands. So they were offering multiple pricing solutions to their customers by using the ABAP add-ons. So they have a couple of add-ons on SAP Business Suite, also on Business Suite on HANA, providing pricing as well as CPQ capabilities. So for them, we have migrated their on-premise solution into a cloud solution on SAP using CAP. So I think from beginning we were kind of we were already remote even before the COVID situation, because the customer was located in a different location. So we did everything remote over Teams. We followed design thinking. So we used a tool called Axure, which works great for creating mockups, validating the mockups with the product owners and different user groups, which worked out well, and it supports SAP UI5 stencils. We used Teams whiteboarding to validate all the business requirements, to validate the designs. We used agile methodology using Scrum, and of course using Azure DevOps as the platform for our Scrum as well as DevOps. So we have set up CI/CD pipelines using Azure pipelines, as well as deploying them automatically to the Cloud Foundry runtime. So that was our setup. It helped us a lot with let's say providing solutions, getting back to the customer, collecting their feedbacks, and also increase our development timelines. Yes, so this is the application architecture, how we designed it using SAP Cloud Platform, and we kind of using the same architecture and approach for most of our CAP related projects. You can see one of the key advantage of using Cloud Foundry and SAP Cloud Platform and CAP is the the connectivity to the on-premise SAP systems. So that's taken care by SAP Cloud Platform using the Cloud Connector. So that was one of the differentiator to use SAP Cloud Platform compared to other PaaS available in the market, because the customer were also looking for other PaaS platforms, but we have challenges with connectivity to on-premise, to SAP, as well as other SAP cloud solutions. So as you can see, the customer already had Neo, which they used it for some reporting purpose. So we also connected to the Neo service for some of their BI data. And the entire application is being developed on top of SAP Cloud Platform CAP model. So we have used the portal services, which host the Fiori Launchpad. We have used Node.js as the application runtime on the SAP. Of course, SAP HANA as the database, enabling both transactional as well as analytical requirements of the product. We did use the business rules, decision tables, and text rules for the application. The workflows have been migrated from ABAP workflows to the SAP Cloud workflows, and of course use the object store to have the unstructured data as well as documents in the application. The solution is also embedded, integrated with Azure AD to provide a single sign-on, as well as to it can connect to any other IDP as the customer demands. So that's more or less the architecture. I think this would fit for most of the business applications we want to build on top of SAP using CAP, and it provides all the basic capabilities you need in any business application you want to build, or any ABAP add-ons you want to migrate. For partners who already have certified ABAP add-ons, they could use this architecture and model to migrate them into SAP. Yes, things to consider. So as part of our journey, it was challenging, but also a bit painful because CAP was still evolving. There are a lot of developments still happening there. But yeah, there's things to consider. If your team is already aware of SAP Cloud Platform, probably with a Neo, so it's better to onboard them properly into the Cloud Foundry version. Better to train them on Cloud Foundry. There's a lot of tutorials and a lot of developer resources available on the community. Please make sure that your team is fully equipped with the concepts of microservices, with the CAP model itself, and how to work with Cloud Foundry. So that's different between Neo and CF. So it's better to onboard your team in the right way. And also make sure that when you are doing a migration of your existing solution to CF, or you want to start scratch, you have to reconsider your application architecture, your design. You have to adopt the microservices approach with CAP. So focus a lot on the CAP model, redesign wherever needed before you start developing or before you go into the realization phase. We also faced a lot of challenges towards the Fiori part. Of course, we are all familiar with ABAP and OData when it comes to on-premise, but while using CAP, understand the differences between using Fiori on ABAP and Fiori on top of CAP. There are a lot of things which you have to manage yourself, where NetWeaver Gateway could provide a solution out of the box. So those things have to be handled specifically by your Fiori developers. For example, using the right components, whether you want to use Fiori elements or not, whether you want to, what kind of page layouts you want to use and the components. There are some restrictions of using smart components, and also restrictions with OData version 4 and OData version 2. So better to analyze and make sure that you have the design and the right components and right frameworks before you start the developments. Again, I would reiterate that try to redesign your application. We are all familiar with the MVC model we use in ABAP. So while migrating the MVC model into CF, you have to redesign some of the components to make sure it fits into the CAP model. And most important thing, decide on your tools, what tools to use, being it the mockup, the DevOps tools, or your IDEs. There are a lot of different IDEs available, the Web IDE, you have Visual Studio Code. Now we have the Business Application Studio. So make a decision before you start development, which tools to use, which frameworks you want to adopt, and what services you want to embed in the application. So it could be the SAP Cloud Platform services, or you want to use the services from other infrastructure providers like Azure or AWS via the service brokers. So finalize your catalog of services before you start into the realization phase, because changing it in between is painful, and it extends your timelines. So make sure that during your design phase you take care of all these things, so your development will be smoother and easier. Yes, challenges and lessons. Then I would hand over to Charan.
Yeah, thanks, Hari. So the challenges, most of the challenges I faced with Fiori Launchpad. So as we know, the SAP UI5 is common in all three platforms like ABAP or Neo and the cloud platform. So nothing much worry about the SAP UI5. You can use the controls. But whereas coming to the Fiori Launchpad, so it's entirely different to configure the Fiori Launchpad in Cloud Foundry. So especially if you want to use the shell plugin and custom visualization and dynamic tiles and static tiles and the custom themes. So these are the heart of the Fiori Launchpad. So we need to learn how to implement these functionalities. So when I was developing these things, I didn't find much on the Google blogs or nothing. The only Bible I have is SAP help documentation. So I just kept reading the document again and again, and I implemented those those concepts. So the one example I would say, so when implementing the custom visualization, just there were not much explanation about that in SAP documentation. So I just deploy my trial account almost 50 times. I just kept doing the trial and error method, and finally I achieved that almost, I think, around 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. night time. I found that. And coming to the Launchpad module side, so here there are two ways to create the Launchpad, Fiori Launchpad. One is through Launchpad module side, and another one is the portal service. So if we use the portal service, we have some limitations, like some rendering issue will come. So we have decided to go with Launchpad module side. And also I would like to just explanation about the benefits of Fiori Launchpad in cloud application. So we have benefits like authentication, authorization, and browser security and transport security. So for example, if a browser security means our sensitive data will be stable throughout the session, so it will be secure. And coming to the transport security, so it always use the HTTPS protocol. So our communications, everything will be encrypted. So the cloud application will be entirely totally securely bound with the platform. And coming to the final one is and also securing programming levels. I would like to explain how to give the best programming methods in order to implement the Fiori Launchpad. The first thing is, in URL you should not pass any sensitive data. The URL should be short and sweet. You should not like big URLs. So just our identity, and the next is the semantic object and the semantic action, and just one input parameter. So it should be like this. and we should not use the browser DBs. So we should not save our sensitive data in browser DBs like IndexDB and local storage. So these things we should take care of while creating the Fury Launchpad. And so these are the challenges I faced in that. And coming to the Web ID challenges. So in Web ID, of course, we face a lot of challenges while building the application and the deploying the application. Sometimes the build will fail without any reason. So we'll just keep building 2 to 3 times. So then it will be success. So and this is another important thing. And whenever the node versions are changes, so it will also be failed. So we should be aware of that. We should just keep mind on the node versions. So when build failed, just check the troubleshooting points why it failed. And coming to the OData part, so we use the OData version 4. So as Hari said, we had a lot of limitations by using the OData v4, like it will not support for smart controls. So in that case, we can use a v2 adapters, OData v2 adapters, that is alternate as given by the CAP model. So with that, you can use the smart controls you can use in as a exactly as a v2. And the coming to the workflow. So we also implemented the workflow in CAP model. So we face a challenge by implementing the principal propagation and the UI implementation. So the basically only we can able to change the UI for inbox, whereas the workflow definition and I mean workflow instance, there the UI we cannot change the UI. So that is the biggest challenge we faced. And because that is only service, that is not a standard app, that is only a service, so we can see the view based on the services. So that we have to aware of that, we can only do with inbox. And the other limitations like business rules framework, I think Hari can explain about that business rules limitations. Yeah.
Hari, I think you're in mute.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Mani.
Yeah.
Yes, so I just wanted to like emphasize on the workflow and business rules, which might be required in most of our business applications. Having used the ABAP workflows and the ABAP BRF, um, while you are migrating those solutions to CAP, there are some limitations on the cloud workflow. Not all the capabilities of workflow can be achieved over there. There are still some restrictions on the type of components you can use in the workflow. So be aware of those restrictions. Also, the business rules, it's still evolving. So we have the decision tables, we have the text rules, but it's not as same as the ABAP BRF. So a lot of things have to be done using the expression language. Due to those limitations, we have copied some of the capabilities to the node layer. So some things which we wanted to do on workflow, which we wanted to do on the business rules, we have achieved them on the node layer, which is not ideal, but as the services improve, we can start using them much more. So that's also, wherever you see some restrictions, you can bring them into a node, or better to push down into the HANA layer. Use the procedures and functions, also the calculation views to improve the performance. So that's one advice we would give. Over to you, Mani.
Thank you, Hari. So, Sudeep, if I am not audible, please let me know.
You are audible. You're audible, Mani.
So I would like to talk about the backend point of view, mostly on the Node.js and HANA, which I'm currently focusing on. So there are a lot of challenges we faced in the Node as well as in HANA. So some of the challenges I mentioned it here are it took us a lot of time to analyze and solve that issues. The first one is the version management. It sounds like a simple issue, but when you really work on a real-time application, so the same code which was working on the previous day might not work on the next day. So then it took us some time to identify what was the root cause. Then we finally found out that the root cause is because of the package version we mentioned it. So we usually use a cap symbol in front of the package, so that cap symbol will automatically update to the the next batch or something. So because of that, we had faced an issue. So what we learned it from there is, so we should lock the versions. So if you lock a particular version of a npm library, so if you want to upgrade it to the next version, so it is in your control. So that's the first challenge or lesson we learned it in this. The next one is the CI/CD pipeline. So initially, during the development of the project for the first 2-3 months, we were not using any CI/CD pipeline. So we manually build and deploy the project. So generally, if you have a very big applications, the building and deployment of a project would take close to 30 to 40 minutes. So, and in case if the deployment fails, then if you want to start from the scratch again, it would take 30 to 40 minutes. So then we were trying to implement CI/CD pipeline. The CI/CD pipeline, everything we were trying to set up on our own server, like the installing a CDS, installing npm, everything. But we had faced a lot of challenges in doing that, because some node version might not support some library. So later, when we after 2-3 months of the project, we learned that SAP has introduced a project piper, so which is an out of the box Docker image. So you can use it in Azure or even a Git. So in our project, we use it in Azure. So if you can directly use that Azure pipeline, and then you just push your code, automatically it starts building and deployment. So which would saved us a lot of time. So that was the second thing. So we would, we learned a lesson to take it forward to the next project, that we should always use a CI/CD pipelines to build and deploy the project. And the next, all the three options are morely on the authentication part. You know, the slide which Hari showed about the project, some people can see certain screens, some people cannot see certain screens, some people can see the limited data, and some people have they can click some button, and some people cannot even see that button. So there are a lot of authorization and authentication checks was required. So we were trying to check what are the options available. So there is in the CAP we have only CAP cookbook. So during that initial phase of the project, so we struggled a lot to identify what are the authorization checks, and how to authorize the particular service. So these were the limitations we faced it in the authorization. And also the last one is morely on the principal propagation. We have to, during the development stage, it was fine for us to use a basic authentication, to even to log into ECC, or even use a cloud platform workflow. Anything we were okay with doing basic authentication. But when we deploy to the quality or even a production, so we had to use a principal propagation, because the customer would log in with their own SAML. So that time we were not sure. There is not a lot of articles or blogs available to to authenticate the ECC via principal propagation method. So we had finally found out some ways to do a principal propagation. So in case if anybody has the same problem, you can reach out to us on on authenticating a different method. So there are also one issues I would like to talk about is the V2 adapter. Charan was mentioning about the V2 adapter, that in the UI5 certain components will not support OData V4. So CAP out of the box only provides Node V4. So if you would like to use V2, then initially during the first 2-3 months we were not sure how to expose the service in V2. So we were trying to create a XSJS module. people who work in HANA would know about XSJS. It was in the previous version. So we were using the XS OData module, but later we identified that there is a V2 adapter to be used. So, but the V2 adapter also has some limitations, in declaring the service definitions. So when you work on a real-time project, you would identify certain limitations the V2 adapter has. So we're still learning on the V2 adapter how to use both V2 and V4 in the same service definitions. So these are the main challenges I faced it in the node as well as in the backend. There are some more, but we would like to highlight these are the main challenges, so that even you can, if you have any issues regarding this, you can reach out to us or even through the community.
Good. Thank you, Mani. Yes, I would like to emphasize the last point, which is a very important lesson for us. Never try to solve the problem by yourself. And I would like to appreciate and also thank the community, the SAP community, the CAP channel, people who are contributing on the CAP channel. So the community is there to help us. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out and fix problems by ourselves. But the moment we reached out to the community, then there are guys who's ready to help. There are a lot of blogs and also articles being shared. So please reach out to the community. You will find a lot of help and you would solve your problems much easier and quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I have also a few resources which could be useful. So of course the CAP community on SEN, Mani mentioned about the CAP site where the cookbook, where you will find a lot of materials, artifacts related to CAP. I would also recommend using the SAP Cloud Discovery Center. If people are not familiar with it, the Discovery Center offers a lot of missions and also interaction with the product experts or SMEs from SAP. There are already a lot of recipes available in those missions, so you could make use of it. And it's kind of one place where you will find all the information. And of course, you guys will be familiar with the developers.sap.com. If you want to onboard your ABAPers or your HANA developers into SAP Cloud or CAP, that's a good starting point to go through all the tutorials and the learnings on the developers side. With that, I hand over to Sudeep.
Yeah, I guess Hari, thank you. I mean, thank you everyone for this wonderful learning lesson. So now we will be going into the live panel discussions. So there are some questions and answer. I mean, some questions I have received from the community folks, because in my first post I mentioned there is a Google form where people ask a lot of questions. Some questions are related to CAP, some questions are normal. So let's take questions one by one. So first question is, I don't know the name because in the form there was never input field for mentioning the name. So the question is, what made you take decisions to develop product on CAP?
Yeah, I can take that question. Yes, of course. Before choosing the CAP, the customer already had a product development team. So they developed their ABAP add-on for on-premise. So they already investigated a lot of options. They looked into other PaaS options available, but also they were looking into HANA XSA. So because one of the requirements is to use HANA, so that they can also do analytics on it. So when we started analyzing the requirements, so one of the key part is integration with SAP on-premise. So being it ECC, Business Suite, or S/4HANA, the solution should integrate with on-premise solutions, but also with other cloud offerings of SAP like C4C, SuccessFactors, or even the Caladius Cloud, the new Sales Cloud. So and also in the roadmap of the customer, they wanted to have the solution as a SaaS offering. So those are the let's say, criteria which we use to choose the CAP model, because using CAP, there are a lot of SDKs available. So the cloud SDKs on the SAP Cloud, the multi-tenancy capabilities of CAP, so you can have one source code and provision the tenant to multiple customers, as well as the microservices approach and using all the services of SAP. So I think those are the key criterias which fit into choosing CAP.
Okay, thank you. So there's another questions.
Sudeep, you're on mute.
Okay, so there's one live questions we have received from Funny Purna. At which layer in the architecture we are designing OData version 2 and version 4 adapter and switching OData version 2 and V4, I mean version 4 at consumption. So,
Yeah,
yeah, Mani, can you take this?
yeah, I can take it. So the no, basically in a short, it is Node.js. In Node.js, we expose the services. As I mentioned, it out of the box, CAP only provides V4 for Node. If you use Java, yeah, you can choose V4 or V2. But if you use Node.js, then only V4. So if why we use V2 is because for the UI, certain UI components don't support V4. So that's the reason we had to use V2. So the one good thing in CAP is they have provided an alternate to expose it as a V2 adapter. So if you use a V2 adapter, it's one of the libraries. So if you use a V2 adapter, then the same code which works in V4, you can expose it as a V2 as well. So in short, it's Node.js.
Okay. So now there is another questions received from the community
Sudeep,
folks.
you're on mute.
So now there is another questions I have received from the community folks. So they have mentioned that we have HANA XSA. What would be the advantages if we go with CAP instead of HANA XSA for further developments?
Yeah, I can take that question. Yeah, so the basic one is scalability. So using CAP, it's highly scalable. Of course, the multi-tenant capabilities on SAP Cloud offers a big advantage for partners who wants to deploy their solution as a SaaS offering. And of course, using the SCP services like workflows, business rules, there are a lot of other capabilities related to machine learning, also other business solutions which are available on SCP. So that those are the reasons to go with SAP. Of course, using Cloud Connector, the connectivity service, helps a lot to integrate with on-premise solutions like the SAP Business Suite or S4HANA, or even S4HANA Cloud. So if your application wants to integrate with all these different solutions, then I would suggest using SAP instead of building your solution natively on HANA XSA. Of course, you can also do it on HANA XSA, running it on other cloud platforms, but you have to manage on yourself. With CAP, there are a lot of capabilities which is out of the box, and the CAP model takes care of it, so you don't have to worry about those things on the authorization, on authentication mechanisms. With XSA, it's between using a framework and doing it from scratch. So that's basically the difference. And also, we were not sure about the roadmap of XSA. What would be the future of XSA would be, as a lot of things migrating to SAP. So those are the criteria we used to evaluate between XSA or CAP.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Harry. So I have another questions. So it is related to UI now. So as a Fury consultant, what I should learn to develop application in CAP?
Yeah, I can take this question. So as a Fury developer, we should learn how to use the OData version 4. Remaining is the same. So we should learn how to create with OData v4 and update, delete and read. So these services we should learn is entirely different. It's not like v2 process. So please read the document, SAP UFI demo kit. We have examples over there, and you can also practice by using those. And another thing is the UFI developer also should know the SAP cloud platform. So he should able to create the destinations, and he should use the you should able to create the roles. So you should aware of how to create the roles and templates. So these are all very important. And another thing is the as I said earlier, the Fury Launchpad configuration they have to learn. It's not like the other process like ABAP or Neo. So and make sure learn all the concepts from the documentation. And I have also given the 2 blogs. You can also read my blogs for relating with the Fury Launchpad, like how to filter the apps, and how to use the multi-translation languages like internalizations. You can also change the languages in the Fury Launchpad. So these things you can also follow the blogs, and please make sure learn these concepts.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Charan. So now there is another questions. It's a different type. From product development point of view, what are the benefits you see developing SaaS-based product in CAP over any other development approach?
You want to take it, Mani?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. See, of course, the first question I would ask is who's your customer? Of course, if since most of our customers are SAP customers, we would like to use SAP Cloud Platform. Again, the reasons were due to the native capabilities of SAP Cloud and integrate with on-premise. And there are also a lot of benefits with CDS developments. So if you are using HANA as your backend or HANA as your database, then I think CAP provides better capabilities to develop using CDS. Of course, there are other platforms which you could do, but there are some things which we need to manage ourselves as a developer, as a solution architect, which might cost more, or you have to spend more effort in doing so. And of course, the availability of different services on SAP Cloud, which are very business focused. If you look into how SAP Cloud Platform evolved over the past years, there are new services and new applications being onboarded almost every month, which makes it easier for us to develop, let's say, solution extensions on platform. Also extending your on-premise as well as cloud solutions, and the integration capabilities of SAP is a big advantage. So you can connect, you can use tools like CPI, API management, or enterprise messaging. So it gives you a lot of business capabilities. So if you are building enterprise applications, I think SAP Cloud Platform would be a good fit compared to other PaaS, because other PaaS also has all the technical capabilities, but it might lack, let's say, the business solutions behind, like workflows, like business rules, or even there is a standard service we use for address validation, or connecting with S/4HANA Cloud. So those are the benefits of using SAP, and then CAP brings it all together. So CAP, like I said, the framework brings all the capabilities of SAP Cloud Platform, enabling connectivity, enabling authentication between all these services, and gives you better control while building your solutions.
Okay, thank you very. So there's one live questions I have received from Sahil Dudeja. So how do you choose Neo versus Cloud Foundry? Our customer is using ECC and planning to implement SAP Asset Manager on SAP Cloud Platform. we have a questions whether we should go with Neo or Cloud Foundry. Hari, can you take this?
Yes, yeah. If you ask me, I would say, yeah, please go with Cloud Foundry.
Even I will say the same.
Yes. Yeah, Neo is see, it's also, please follow the roadmap of SAP. So Neo, we hear different things. Neo is still supported, will be supported for existing customers, but I'm not sure whether new services or any innovation would be done on top of Neo. So I would strongly advise if you're starting now, better to start with SAP CF, the Cloud Foundry version. It offers you more functionalities. It offers you better control on developing cloud solutions compared to Neo. Also, the availability of HANA 2.0. So that is also one of our biggest requirements. So we wanted to use HANA 2.0 because we had some analytical and machine learning requirements, which demands using HANA 2.0. So, but with that also other cloud services which your application might need, which are not available on Neo. So if you're starting now, I would better start with Cloud Foundry, because there's no compared to Neo, there's no limitations on Cloud Foundry. That would be my recommendation.
Thank you. Thank you for the insight. So now I have another questions. So it's I guess okay. So it's a UI related questions. From UI developer point of view, what are the differences when developing in CAP and in normal standalone UI application development? So can anyone of you take this?
Yeah, yeah, I can answer this question. So, so only difference here is the OData V4, and also we have a V2 adapters, alternative solution. So if we implement a standard UF application, we no need all those things. We can straight away develop the application by using a normal V2, and by using the controllers we can develop. But whereas if you come to the normal Cloud Foundry portal, then of course, as I said, we need to the difference is V4 and other properties like the theme designer. So here the implementing the theme designer is a little bit different. Through URL we have to implement the theme designer, and so shell plugins also difference to implement in Piri Launchpad. So these things the mostly you can say.
Yeah, and also I think I can add one point on top of it. It's a concept of the app router. I'm not sure if people are familiar with the concept of app router, which is kind of let's say the routing mechanism to communicate between all the different services in the CAP model. So while developing CAP, everything is a service. Since it's follow the microservices approach, you have the UI service is different than the node service, than the DB service, and you have other services outside of your project. So try to understand the concept of app router, and how to also do cross-app navigations if you want to do cross-app navigations in UI5 on CAP, and how do you use these destinations and connectivity services. So if you want to use other cloud services, you need to understand the concept of destinations, and how to authenticate on these destinations. So that is a bit different in the CAP model.
Okay, thank you for the insights. So now I have another questions from community folks. He has asked why you choose CAP over RAP, where ABAP is also available in SCP, I mean SAP Cloud Platform, Cloud Foundry.
Yes, I was expecting this question to be honest. Uh, yeah, so when we started, I think the ABAP on cloud was not let's say mature enough at the time. So it was just introduced. The steampunk was still under development at that stage when we started the project. I think still today we are still following. We are also trying creating some proof of concepts on RAP, but there are a lot of restrictions. Not all capabilities are whitelisted by SAP, and also we are not sure about the scalability and the cost of ABAP on cloud. So how to achieve how to scale up the solution, because Node is lightweight. We can spin off or deploy multiple runtimes, multiple instances of Node, and also load balance them. So with ABAP on cloud, so RAP is good, but ABAP on cloud is what we are still not sure about, using ABAP on cloud as the runtime for cloud native applications. And of course, the library support, the community support of Node.js and CAP is much more than RAP. And of course, cost plays a big factor while developing cloud applications. So those are the decisions. We are still following up on the RAP. We are continuously looking into it. Probably there will be use cases, for example, to extend your on-premise solutions to cloud. There RAP fits very well. Or if you want to extend your ABAP based cloud solutions like S4HANA Cloud or even BYD solutions, there I think RAP would be a good fit because it offers the S4HANA Cloud SDK. So based on those, we would decide whether to use CAP or RAP.
Yeah, thank you. I guess the question is answered. Whoever is asked, I don't know, he is in live chat or not. So now I guess almost most of the questions are answered, and we are also running out of time. It's 9:57. So I have received another two questions just today morning, I guess, and that was not related to CAP, but someone was asking what is the intention of this series. So he asks, this is a great initiative, hope this becomes platform for all SAP tech enthusiasts. Does the discussions cover only CAP or anything related to cloud like CPI technology? So just wanted to answer your questions. This series would be not focusing only on CAP, rather we would focus on SAP cloud platform, and most of the scenario would be how to build intelligent enterprise scenario using cloud platform, or in context of extending SAP cloud solution, or maybe extending the SAP on-premise. It could be S4 or it could be ECC. So today's topic was focused on CAP, but next sessions, maybe next topic could be any kind of cloud platform services like CAI, or maybe blockchains, or maybe some machine learning capabilities of SAP which is offering by cloud platform. So that is the intention of this series, and hopefully we'll be able to continue the series every weekend, mostly Saturday or Sunday. So that is the intention of the series, and I guess we are 9:59 now. So with this, I would like to thank Hari, Mani, and Charan. I guess it was a great, insightful learning, as well as the question and answer round, as well as some good live panel discussions. And if I would like to also receive a feedback from the community. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out in my LinkedIn, as well as you can reach out to me in SAP community also. I guess you can message there. If you can follow me, then you can message. If you want to cover some topic on SAP Cloud Platform, we are very happy to cover those topic. Yeah, someone asked, will you focus on SAP CI? Yes, I would be giving a tech talk, or maybe we will have some live podcast, or maybe some a little bit hands-on on SAP Conversational. Yes, I will do that. So with that, I wish everyone a happy weekend, and keep us posted about the feedback. And really sorry, initially we had some sound problem, but maybe next week we will try to fix that, because we are also learning. This is a very new thing for me and new thing for us, to do this live streaming. So I'm just getting the inspirations from all the community folks, like DJ Navid, Thomas Jang. These people are doing, so we are just getting the inspirations, and we are also starting it out. So this series would be continuing. Okay, there are another questions for ABAP on cloud. What knowledge should need for ABAPers? Okay, so there is a questions, maybe if anyone want to take, this is the last questions we will take. For ABAP on cloud, what knowledge should we need for ABAPers, like OData, ABAP on HANA?
Yes. Yeah. I think for ABAP on cloud, you have to be familiar with RESTful ABAP. RESTful ABAP is I would say a complete new version of ABAP, in terms of how we program. It's beyond. It's not just object oriented ABAP. A lot of people who I talk to, they say, yeah, it's just another ABAP OO concept. No, RESTful ABAP is kind of introducing this cloud native capabilities of how to communicate with services using APIs, using proxies and SDKs, and also the concept of business objects. You really have to understand. So it's a BO concept of SAP, or BOPF. Some people are familiar with BOPF. So try to learn about the concept of business objects, the concept of business services, probably for Fiori developers. Also try to understand the behaviors. So everything have been pushed into CDS and behavior approach. So all your modeling, data modeling will be done in CDS, and your controllers will be behaviors on this CDS concept. Try to learn about the authorization concepts on RESTful ABAP. That is also changing, and of course, most important, learn the limitations of ABAP on cloud, because once you know the limitations, then you can look for alternatives instead of trying to solve it with classic ABAP. So the 2 points: CDS, learn about CDS, learn about how to publish CDS for OData, as well as to manage CRUD operations using the behaviors in CDS. So that would be my advice for ABAPers.
Okay, thank you again. Thank you, Hari, for insightful comment on this. I guess we are already running out of time, and I would like to thank everyone for joining us. It was a really great experience to have a first live sessions and interacting with all of you. Maybe we'll see you in the next week again. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.